Day 1, arrival in Kathmandu. A representative will meet you at the airport and transfer you to your hotel. At the hotel you will be briefed about your activities and your kit checked. Day 2, fly to Lukla, then trek to Piety. The flight is less than an hour but takes you into the heart of rural Nepal and ends with the breathtaking landing at Lukla. From Lukla you descend first to Surkhe, where you cross the river before climbing steeply to Chotukla. From there it is another hour of undulating flat to Piety and your first lodge on this trek. Day 3, Piety to Pangomla. The day starts with a sharp descent through mainly cultivated hillsides till you reach the wooden bridge where you cross the Piakola River. Another tough climb brings you back up to Karila, from where you traverse on typical Nepali flat for most of the afternoon before you reach the Sherpa village of Pangomla. Day 4, Pangomla to Ningbo. A short climb brings you to the Pangomla, where you cross over into the Inku Valley, passing through the village of Busme, where you will see local farmers and villagers going about their day-to-day life. You carry on further along the trail to Ningbo, where you will camp overnight in a forest clearing. Day 5, Ningbo to the bamboo camp. Today starts relatively easily, moving around the mountain again till you reach Subuji, where you will stop for lunch. From there you take a turn north off the main track on a route that takes you into the rhododendron jungle and well away from the main trading paths. Overnight is at a small campsite known only as Bamboo Camp. Day 6, Bamboo Camp to Kaite. From Bamboo Camp you continue trekking through the jungle, always going up or down and quite steeply passing through the village of Tashing Omma before finally dropping down to meet the Inku Kola at Mosam Karka. From here you continue to trek along the river before reaching the larger village of Kote and your next lodge. Already you are starting to get impressive views of the Mira peak at the head of the valley. Day 7, Kaite to Tagnak. The forest gives way to open valley again by mid-morning, revealing the peaks which line either side. The valley swings eastward into a new array of peaks, and as you approach Tagnak, the route up towards the Mira glacier comes into view. Damage caused to the valley by the collapse of the glacial lake Sabai to Sho is all too apparent as you head up the river. You reach Tagnak mid-afternoon, where you will stay overnight. Day 8, Tagnak Glacier acclimatization. This is a really important day for acclimatization, and we will try to gain as much height as you can during the day, climbing the slopes behind Tagnak up to the Tibetan prayer stones before returning to Tagnak for lunch. In the afternoon you can head up the slopes to the north to look at what is left of the glacial lake Sabai Cho. You can still see a distinct line far above marking where the water had once reached. Day 9, Tagnak to Kare. This morning's walk alongside the Dig Glacier is easy and relaxed. This is an excellent valley opening out views to the north of the Hinkunap Glacier and the line of peaks beyond. Only the last section up to your base camp at Kare at 4,940 metres is steep. If time and energy allows, you should take an acclimatization walk up the grassy ridge immediately behind the village. This gives great views of the flattened ridge across the glacier, which you will ascend tomorrow, and south to Mira itself. Day 10, Ridge Ascent from Hinku Nup. Today you gain more valuable acclimatization and pick up some stunning views as well. Following the lateral moraine of the Hinku Nup Glacier into an arena of peaks and glacial lakes, you turn to ascend a grassy ridge that rises back to the south. At the top you eat your lunch surrounded by a stunning panorama of peaks, including Mira itself and the whole of Hinku Himal and the south face of Amadablam. In the afternoon you will learn the principles of roping up for glacier travel. Day 11, Kare to Mira La. You return to the glacier today, and this time follow it round in a wide arc, keeping close under the northern flank where there are no crevasses. Mira La is a rounded snow col that bridges south to the main sweep of the Mira Glacier, coming down from the Mira Peak. Our camp for the night is just over the Mira La Pass. Day 12 is a spare day for bad weather. Day 13, Mira La to High Camp. Crampons on again for the start of the push to the summit. You climb back up the pass at Mira La and then head up the glacier towards a rocky outcrop where we will set the most spectacular high camp. Clinging on to the edge of the mountain, the views from here are incredible. Kangchenjunga is visible to the east above the ridge of Changlang. The ice spire of Barents is left of Makalu. Between it and the beautiful peaks of Amadablam you will see Nuptse, Lhotse's south face and Lhotse Star. Over the ridge stands the summit of Everest, the final stages of the traditional route up the southeast ridge and over the summit to the summit ridge. Day 13, Mira Peak Ascent to Dingma. You will be awoken at about 2 a.m. with hot tea and a high-energy meal to start your summit ascent of Mira Peak. You start up the main glacier, crossing to the south side as you approach the snow humpback ridge. This part of the route is not technical, but 30-degree slopes are still tough. The slope steepens for a section behind the ridge, and then you swing diagonally westward. The summit comes back into view and you're on the level summit ridge. At the foot of the final steep ascent, you will attach to a fixed rope laid by your guide and use your ice axe and a jumar to climb the final 30-metre 55-degree pitch to reach Mira Peak summit. A spectacular panorama greets you with clear views over to Everest. Once you've had a chance to take this all in and congratulate yourself on an amazing achievement, you will descend into the Honggu Valley down to Dingma. Day 14, Dingma to Sitopakari. You continue to trek through the Honggu Valley, a very high and remote valley with no inhabitants. Day 15, ascend to Ampulabsta High Camp. Passing beneath the giant west face of Chamlang, you follow the Honggu Kola and finally the Honggu Glacier to the holy site of Panchpokore, or 5 Lakes. Today you trek to Ampulabsta's High Camp and come face to face with this gigantic and technical obstacle that you must cross tomorrow. Day 16, cross Ampulabsta into Imja Valley. Crossing Ampulabsta and dropping into the Imja Valley is possibly the most technical and challenging part of the expedition. From the top of the pass you will abseil down into the Imja Valley and get your first views of Island Peak. Day 17, Island Peak Base Camp. The trail crosses the river and follows the valley for approximately 3 hours, passing beneath the magnificent south face of Lhotse. Base Camp is by the side of the Imja Glacier, below steep grassy slopes which mark the start of the climb on Island Peak. Day 18, trek to Island Peak High Camp. You ascend a little further to the high camp where you will relax and make final preparations for your climb tomorrow. Day 19, ascent of Island Peak. Crossing the gully above the camp, the trail makes a climb for another hour to a narrow ridge leading onto the glacier. Here it is time to rope up and put on your crampons, as the most interesting part of the climb begins with the glacier crossing. This is followed by the steep snow slope that leads onto the summit ridge. On reaching the summit you have stunning close-up views of the south face of Lhotse looking over you, whilst in the other direction there are more dramatic mountain views. You descend along the same route down to base camp. Day 20, trek to Pangboshe. After descending along the trail to Chokong, you continue on to Dingboshe for lunch. It is then another couple of hours to the village of Pangboshe where you'll stay for the night. Day 21, trek to Namche. From Pangboshe you drop down again to follow the river. After crossing it you climb back up through the birch and rhododendron forest back to Tenboshe. From Tenboshe you descend over the Dudkoshi before making your way back to Namche. Day 22, trek to Lukla. Your final day's trekking follows the Dudkoshi back down to Lukla. This last evening in the mountains is the ideal opportunity for a farewell party with the Sherpa guides and porters where you can sample some chang, try Sherpa dancing and look back on a memorable trekking experience. Fly to Kathmandu on day 23. After an early breakfast you'll head to the airstrip for your return journey to Kathmandu. Later you have free time to explore. You stay overnight in a hotel in Kathmandu. Day 24, depart Kathmandu. Our driver will take you to the airport for your flight home.